The best side hustle I ever started was the one that killed my desire to side hustle altogether. You know that feeling when you're scrolling through social media at 2 a.m., watching 20-somethings flash their laptop lifestyles from Bali? The dropshipping millionaires, the course creators, the affiliate marketing gurus. Your chest tightens. Your mind races. Why aren't you building something? Why aren't you hustling harder? I lived in that mental prison for 3 years. My main job paid the bills, but barely. I convinced myself that financial freedom lay just one successful side hustle away. I tried everything. Print-on-demand t-shirts that nobody bought. A YouTube channel that peaked at 47 subscribers. Freelance writing gigs that paid less per hour than minimum wage. Each failure felt like proof that I wasn't trying hard enough. The money paradox was eating me alive, though I didn't recognize it then. The more desperately I chased money, the more elusive it became. Every spare hour was consumed by research, planning, executing, and ultimately failing at some new money-making scheme. I was living what psychologist Tim Kasser describes in The High Price of Materialism as the hedonic treadmill, where external goals keep moving further away, no matter how fast you run. Then I stumbled into something different. A friend mentioned she was learning pottery. Not to sell anything. Not to build a brand. Just because she enjoyed it. The concept baffled me. Why would someone spend money and time on something that didn't generate income? What was the point of getting good at something if you couldn't monetize it? Out of curiosity, I signed up for a ceramics class at the local community center. $60 for 8 weeks. The irony wasn't lost on me that I was spending money instead of making it. The first few sessions were frustrating. My hands couldn't shape what my mind envisioned. Clay collapsed. Bowls emerged lopsided. The instructor, an older woman named Margaret, watched me struggle with my perfectionism. She said something that cracked open my worldview. The clay doesn't care about your timeline or your expectations. It just wants to become what it's meant to be. Week after week, I showed up. Something strange happened. I stopped thinking about monetization. I stopped calculating how much money I was losing by not working on side projects. The wheel demanded presence. Clay required patience. You can't rush a piece in the kiln. By the 6th week, I was staying late after class. I brought Margaret coffee and we talked about art, life, and the satisfaction of creating something with your hands. She mentioned that her pottery had developed a small following over the years. People occasionally asked to buy pieces. She never actively marketed anything, but word spread organically through friends and local art shows. The revelation hit me like a physical force. Margaret had built what Seth Godin calls a permission asset in his book Permission Marketing. Not by chasing customers, but by focusing deeply on craft. Not by optimizing for profit, but by optimizing for mastery and genuine connection. Her success wasn't despite her lack of hustle mentality, it was because of her absence of it. I kept attending pottery classes long after that initial 8-week session. My pieces improved. I developed a style. People started noticing. A local coffee shop asked if they could display some mugs. A friend commissioned a set of bowls for her wedding. Orders trickled in through word of mouth. The money paradox had reversed itself. By completely abandoning the pursuit of money, I stumbled into something that actually generated income. More importantly, I discovered what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi calls flow state in his research on optimal experience. Time disappeared when I was at the wheel. Problems dissolved. The constant mental chatter about not being successful enough simply vanished. This aligns with what Viktor Frankl observed in Man's Search for Meaning. Happiness cannot be pursued directly. It must ensue from meaningful action. My pottery wasn't meaningful because it made money. It made money because it was meaningful. The real transformation wasn't financial. I stopped measuring my worth by my income potential. The constant comparison to online entrepreneurs faded. I realized that the hustle culture I'd internalized was just another form of external validation, no different from seeking approval through expensive clothes or impressive job titles. Alfred Adler's concept of social interest became clear to me through clay. True fulfillment comes not from individual striving for superiority, but from contributing to something larger than yourself. Every piece I created was a small act of service, whether for Margaret's coffee or a stranger's morning routine. You might think this story ends with me quitting my day job to become a full-time potter. It doesn't. I still work my regular job, but the desperate energy around money has disappeared. I make pottery because I love it. Some months I earn a few $100s from sales. Some months I earn nothing. The outcome doesn't define the value of the activity. The side hustle that made me quit side hustling taught me that the best way to build something valuable is to stop trying to build something valuable. Focus on the craft. Serve the work. Trust that meaning and money will follow in their own time, if they're meant to at all. Your hands are already capable of creating something meaningful. The question isn't what will make you the most money. The question is what will make you the most alive.